This video will demonstrate replacing shift cables on the twist shifter levers found on flat handlebars. The twist shifters mount adjacent to the brake levers. They consist of two parts. The inner body secures tight to the handlebar. The shift collar rotates to pull or release the shift cable. Twist shifter models are made by various manufacturers, including SRAM, Shimano, Microshift, Sunrace, and others. For other types of shift levers, see the shift lever cable replacement playlist. In mechanical shifting systems, the shift cable and housing are how your shifters tell your derailleurs what to do. The cable pulls or releases a set amount of cable to cause the derailleur to move a set amount. If the cable or housing has become kinked, worn, frayed, or corroded, you may experience slow shifting, inconsistent shifting, hard shifting, or no shifting at all. Replacing your cables and/or housing can improve the shifting. This video will focus on shift cable replacement. For housing replacement, see how to size and install shift cable housing. Tools and supplies for this procedure can include a new shift cable. Note, new cables with a single head have an end that is spot welded. This end makes it easier to feed this through levers and housing. Cable cutters such as the CN10 to cut the cable. Cable end caps. Hex keys from 2 to 5 millimeters can be needed. Cross-tip screwdriver such as the SD2. A pair of needle nose pliers can be handy such as the NP6. A pick to help extract some cables such as the upset pick set. And a flashlight to help see inside some small places. Regardless of the model, begin by shifting to the smallest sprocket or ring. This slackens the cable and puts the shifter and cable head in a position needed to install a new cable. Disconnect the cable from the pinch bolt at the derailleur. If necessary, cut the shift cable end to make it easier to get out. Cut off any frayed or bent cable end to make it easier to pull it through the housing. Those are the beginning steps for cable replacement. Now let's take a detailed look at a variety of different levers. Note, some models of levers make cable replacement difficult. Getting a new set of shifters should be considered as an option. These will often come with a new cable installed. We'll show you some examples of the most popular lever styles organized by brand. SRAM has different twist shifter designs that can vary in cable replacement and is organized by cable access type. We'll begin with the Shimano Revo shift. With Revo, the cable head is underneath this cover. This cover style clicks into place and can be released here. Use a small flat tip screwdriver to press, then lift the cover from the back. Unclip it at the front and it is off. In this earlier generation, the cable head is hidden beneath this cover that is held by two small screws. One screw is at the back of the cover. Use a small cross-tip screwdriver to remove. Remove the second screw that is underneath the lever here. Carefully work the cover free, working front to back. Regardless of the cover, the cable head sits inside a shifting ring. The shifting ring allows the cable to be pulled. Because the ring also captures the head, the cable is pushed when shifting the other direction. Pull the housing away from the shifter. Pull on the cable head using a pick to pry the head upward and free from the ring. Pull the old cable out. Watch that this cable guide stays in place in the lever. Install a new cable through the cable access hole in the shifting ring, around the cable guide, and through the barrel adjuster. Use a screwdriver or pick if needed to get the end into the barrel adjuster. Pull on the cable and ensure the head is seated in the shifting ring. Reinstall the cover with the 2 screws. Tip: it can help to put a small dab of grease on the screw head. This helps the screw adhere to the screwdriver. Tighten only until the head of the screw contacts the plastic body. The clip-style cover simply snaps into place when you are done. Test the cable installation now by pulling on the cable as you twist the shifter. You should feel the cable move as the shifter twists. If the cable does not move, it is misinstalled in the shifter. Remove the cable and start again. Now, let's look at some other makes and models of twist shifters. SRAM has several different twist shifter designs that vary in how their cables are replaced. Begin by inspecting the inner body and shift collar. This common design features a hole in the shift collar for direct cable installation. After the cable is detached, pull the housing away from the shifter and push the cable into the barrel adjuster. It may take a few attempts to free the cable head from the shift collar and rubber cover. Pull the cable out. Feed a new cable through the hole. The new cable must make an immediate turn inside the lever. It can help to first give the cable end a slight bend to help it get it around the curve. Pull the cable fully through the shifter to seat the head. Test the shifter by pulling the cable with one hand and twisting the shift collar to different gears. You should feel the cable move. This SRAM model uses a rubber flap on the shifter to cover the cable access. Pry this open to expose the cable head inside. The head is held secure by a latch in the shifter, which allows the shifter to push the cable as well as pull it. Pull the housing away from the shifter. Use a seal pick or a small screwdriver to release the cable head as you push the cable at the barrel adjuster. Install a new cable. Pull the cable to seat the head into the shifter. A similar design is seen on the SRAM Plasma. This features a sliding cover on the shift lever that hides the cable head. From the inside edge, lift upward as you push it inward. This exposes a set screw that covers the cable head. The set screw feature here allows the shift collar to push the cable as well as pull it. Remove the set screw. Pull the housing away from the shifter and push the cable at the barrel adjuster. Install a new cable and pull it into the lever. If it is difficult to install the cable, it can help to remove the barrel adjuster to make a larger hole. Reinstall the barrel adjuster after the cable is through. Reinstall the set screw. Tighten the set screw only until it contacts the cable head, no tighter. Twist the shift collar to test the cable movement. Reinstall the cover. Some models of grip shift from SRAM have a cover plate that must first be removed. For models such as the ESP, move both the brake and shifter temporarily inward to allow the cover to be removed. Resecure the shifter with about a 5mm gap to the shift collar. This helps keep the internal spring in place. Unthread the screw to remove the cover. Wiggle the shift collar back and forth as you pull outward slightly to expose the cable head and stop. There are a few small extra parts inside, so watch their orientation. Stopping here keeps the spring still engaged in the shifter, but gets you room to install a new cable. Remove the set screw above the cable head. Push the cable at the barrel adjuster and remove it from the shifter. Hang on to the cable guide as you remove the cable. Install a new cable. Reinstall the set screw and tighten only until it contacts the cable head. Reinstall the cover. Return the shift collar into the inner body, working it back and forth. However, if you pull the shift collar outward too much, the spring in the shifter may become disengaged. Take note of the spring orientation in the shifter. The spring fits into the non-rotating body in this pocket, with the open end facing the back of the bike. Just use a dab of grease under the spring to help it stick in place. This model has no visible external cable holes in the shift collar or inner body. The cable head is below a fixing ring adjacent to the barrel adjuster. Move the brake lever temporarily to get room for the ring to be removed. Loosen the ring screw. Now, remove the barrel adjuster and pull the ring inward to free it from the shifter. The cable head will now be exposed in the shifter. The head is captured in the shifter and will require the use of a pick or a small screwdriver to free it. Pry back against the tab holding the head and push on the cable. Pull the cable out of the lever and install a new cable through the same hole. Reinstall the cover and fixing ring and engage it on the shifter. Reinstall the barrel adjuster. Snug the ring set screw to approximately 3 Newton meters. Move the brake lever back into place. Then test the shifter while holding the cable. You should feel the cable move. There are some makes and models of shift levers that were made without consideration for shift cable replacement. Work slowly and carefully on these types of shifters. You may also want to simply consider getting new shift levers, which often come with a new cable installed. There are early models of the twist shifters from SRAM that have no exterior cable access hole and no cover to remove. These must be carefully pulled apart. It is useful to move the brake lever and shifter inwards on the bars. This gets you room to work as the shift collar backs away from the inner body. The rear shift collar is twisted all the way back from the rider's perspective to the 1 mark. From this position, continue to rotate to the back past the last indicated gear. The collar is now clocked to be pulled outward and disengaged from the inner body. Pull the cable housing away from the barrel adjuster. Carefully pull outward on the shift collar and remove it from the inner body. Again, notice the orientation of the spring and also the cable wrapping as it comes apart. On the rear shifter, the cable head is fixed in the shifter and does not move. Rather, there is a guide in the shift collar that draws up the cable as the collar is rotated. Remove the old cable. Install a new cable through the cable access hole in the shifter. Double check the spring is still in position. Again, if it seems to fall out easily, just use a dab of grease under the spring to help it stick in place. The cable is run forward, going around and over the handlebar once, and then into the barrel adjuster. Inspect the shift collar for a cam groove that guides the cable. Pull the slack from the cable. Move the collar toward the inner body and rotate to engage the cable in the cam groove. Once the cable is in the groove, rotate the shift collar to the largest number, in this example, 6. This is the position that is clocked in time to engage the shift collar into the inner body. Work the collar back and forth at this position until you feel it click into place. Twist the shift collar to test the cable movement. From the rider's perspective, twist the front shifter all the way to the back to the last marked gear. From this position, continue to rotate the shift collar to the back past the last gear. The collar is now clocked to be pulled outward and disengaged from the inner body. There is a spring inside the front shifter as well. Take note of the parts orientation in case anything falls out. The spring sits inside this pocket. The open end of the spring faces back toward the rider. Remove the cable and install a new one through the cable access hole in the shift collar. Feed the cable through the barrel. Double check the spring is still in place in the shifter. And rotate the shift collar to the 1 mark as you push it into the inner body. Work the collar forward and back slightly until you feel it engage in the inner body. Touch the shifter for normal operation. Microshift twist shifters use a small cover over the cable head. Use a knife or thin-tip screwdriver to carefully pry up the cover. Pull the housing away from the shifter. Push the cable from the barrel adjuster to remove the head. Pull the cable out. Install a new cable through the hole. Pull the cable to seat it into the shifter. Replace the cover and rotate the shifter to test the cable movement. As mentioned before, some models of levers make cable replacement difficult. Getting a new set of shifters with cables pre-installed should be considered as an option. To come apart, Sunray's twist shifters need to be repositioned on the bars. Begin by removing the rubber half of the grip from the handlebar. Loosen the lever set screw and slide the shifter nearly off the bars. This fixtures the inner body and allows the twisting shift collar to come off. Slowly rotate the shift collar while pulling outward firmly. The collar will release from the inner body. The cover plate from below the shift collar will come free. The Sunray shifter consists of 3 basic parts: the inner body, a shift collar, and a shifting ring inside. Spring is fitted into the shifting ring and moves across detents in the lever. These detents are the index feeling in the shifter. It can occur the shifting ring stays in the shift collar as it is pulled off. It can also occur the shifting ring stays in the inner body as the collar is removed. When the ring has stayed in the shift collar, keep pressure on the ring to keep it there. Remove the old cable. Install a new cable through the shift cable hole. And pull the cable to take out the slack. Rotate the shift collar so a number will align with the window on the inner body. Push the shift collar as you turn it forward and back until it clicks into place. Test the shifter by twisting it through the gear range. If the shifting ring remained in the inner body, notice the orientation of the spring and the ring. It is difficult to remove and install a cable with the ring in the inner body. The ring should be removed from the inner body and installed into the shift collar. Again, notice the orientation of the spring and use needle nose pliers to pull it free. The ring will now slide out. Remove the old cable from the ring. Fit the spring back into the ring. This end of the spring will engage the detents in the shifter. Now fit the ring back into the shift collar. There is only one proper orientation for the shifting ring that fits into the collar. The cable access hole is positioned under the last number. Install a new shift cable into the cable hole in the ring. Feed the cable through the barrel adjuster. Replace the cover below the shift collar. Rotate the collar so the shift numbers align with the window as you push and twist it into the inner body. The shift collar will click into place. Rotate the collar to test the cable movement. Now return the shifter to its normal working position. Route the cable through the housing to the derailleur. Feed the cable through the groove of the pinch mechanism and pull the slack from the cable. Secure the pinch bolt screw, typically about 5 Newton meters. Cut the cable approximately 30 millimeters long. Install an end cap. Adjust shifting and index settings. See how to adjust the derailleur for more on that. If you didn't see your style of twist shifter amongst the ones we've shown, contact your manufacturer. Thanks for joining us, and remember, twist and shout.